Hi DIYers, Sterling with Alarm Grid here, and today we're going to do some Lynx Touch L5200 sensor programming videos. We're going to start with the more basic sensors that you would use or find in a normal standard wireless security system kit, like the 5816 door and window sensor, 5811 door and window sensor, 5800 PIR-RES motion detector, and then the key fobs, and then we'll go on and show you all of the other 5800 series wireless devices that also work with the Lynx Touch 5200. So we're going to start with our 5816. This is a Honeywell 5816 wireless door and window contact. This was historically the most popular sensor sold with this system, or with any Honeywell wireless system. You'll often find the kits that include 3 of these sensors: front door, back door, side door, front door, back door, window. Idea being most systems would use at least 3 contacts, so Honeywell sells it in a kit where you get 3 of these. On our website, we actually have defaulted to using the smaller 5811 sensors, but we do have kits that include the 5816 as well, and there's certain aspects of the 5816 that would make it a better option for people, even if they were looking for, even if some of the doors they wanted the 5811s, there may be opportunity to use this 5816 for some of the doors. The biggest advantage or difference between the 5816 sensor and the 5811 is that the 5816 has these 2 internal screw contacts, and these terminals that you can land a wire to would be used if you wanted to use this device as just a wireless transmitter. So you would mount this on the wall and you would wire out to an external contact. It could be a recessed contact in your front door, or it could be wires going back to an old hardwired zone that you had. But bottom line, when you're wiring into here, the sensor, instead of looking for a magnet and a contact closure to the sensor, you're actually looking for an external device to be activating. So this can act as 2 different things. It could even do both. If you had 2 windows side by side, this unit along with its magnet could be used to protect one window, or this side of the window. Then you could wire, and instead of having to buy a secondary 5816 for the second window right next door, you could just wire out to a less expensive wired contact, and then you would set this up with 2 different zones, one for the device with the magnet and one for the external contact. So that's the biggest reason that someone would choose a 5816 as a device to use instead of if it is included in the kit. So now that we've gone over the 5816 and how it works, we're going to show you how to program it to the Lynx Touch L5200 system. Before we program it, we need to give it power. It comes with a CR123A lithium battery, 3 volts, and on the printed circuit board you have a plus and a minus indication showing you how to insert the battery.
Tamper, front door.
And it simply slides in there, and now we have power. That's our L7000, which also this device is programmed to, which is why it's beeping, but we have yet to program it to the 5200, and now that we have power, we're able to go ahead and enroll this device. So the first thing we want to do from the home screen, hit the security icon. Then we have the option for more at the bottom right, and now we have tools. From tools we do 4112, which is the default installer code, and now we have the option for program and then zones. Now on this panel you'll notice we have zone 1, which is set to new. That zone is only available to be used with a hardwired door contact, so you cannot program the 5816 to zone 1. If you'll notice, there's no box at the top for serial number. And again, because it only works with a wired sensor, and that's why you have this end-of-line supervision that they're talking about. So we're going to ignore zone 1. And these front door, back door, window, and motion, those are template zones. So out of the box, the panel will be set up that way. None of these zones are programmed aside from the words, but we're going to go ahead just for ease of use and show you how to add it as a brand new sensor. So we click New, Zone 6, and we highlight it. Every device is a zone. So as you scroll through here, you can see how many zones this panel supports. It goes all the way up to 64, and then we get into our key fob zones on 140 and above. So we have plenty of room to add as many sensors as we need. So we go Zone 6 and Edit. And the first thing that we always want to do before we program any of the sensor parameters is to select the serial number. You can see on the device that we have an alpha number 0291072. It's also on a sticker that's on the barcode here. So there's two stickers for the device to show you the serial number. To highlight or to program the serial number, we click into the box, and now we have our keypad showing 1 through 9 and 0 to type in the serial number. Or what's even easier, we can activate the device 3 times, and by auto-enrolling it, the 3 activations verifies the sensor is working, and it automatically programs the proper serial number and, more importantly, the proper loop number for this sensor. So to activate, we look on the sensor and there is the read switch. It's at the bottom of the circuit board. It's this small diode here, mercury read switch on the inside. And on the side or the bottom edge of the sensor, we have these 2 hash marks. And if you notice, the magnet happens to line up perfectly in between those 2 hash marks. So that is your indication of where the magnet goes. I just had the magnet close, I pulled it away, that activated the sensor, you heard it beep once. If I were to put it on this side, because it's on the wrong edge, it's not doing anything. Same idea, put it on this side, it's not doing anything. So very important that you have your magnet in line with these 2 marks. So we've activated it once. Here we go for activation number 2. We put the magnet close, we pull it away, and we have now our serial number. It matches up. We have our loop number 2. When you're using this device as the wireless transmitter with the magnet, you use loop number 2. If we had wired in a contact, we could have activated that contact and it would have learned in with loop number 1. And again, you can program 2 separate zones for this one device. It would be the same serial number for both, and the loop number would tell the system to look for the external contact on loop 1 or to look for the wireless sensor and the magnet for loop 2. For our purposes, we're only using loop 2, so we want to do 1/3 final activation to learn in the sensor. So we have it close, simulating the door closed. We pull it apart one more time, and now we have our zone parameter set. So we have our serial number, we have our loop number, and the next thing we want to choose is device type. So here we have a selection of available options of what kind of sensor are we using. Are we using a garage door, medical device, temperature device, door, window? In our case, we're going to choose door. By selecting the device type, we now choose the response type. And based on what device type you've selected, these response types will be limited to the most common response types used with that particular device type. So if this was a window, we might not see all of these options, or if it was a motion, we would see different options. So the device type selection first helps you limit your choices here so you're not confused by all of the different response types that are available. For our door, we're going to use this on our front door, and the front door happens to be the door we use when it's armed, so we need a delay. If we made this a perimeter, which these are the 2 most common selections, entry, exit 1 or perimeter. Perimeter means that it will be an instant alarm as soon as you activate the door or activate the sensor by opening the door. The system would go into full alarm mode. By selecting entry, exit 1, what we're saying is when this door is activated, don't go into full alarm mode. Give us 30 seconds to get to the keypad and turn the system off before the alarm goes off. So obviously any door that you enter when the system is armed would need to be set with a delay. If you had it set to perimeter, you'd have a false alarm every time you come home. So now that we have door and entry, exit 1, the last thing we want to do is designate which door is this. We have multiple doors in our home. So instead of just having them all say door and having to remember zone 6 is front door, zone 7 is back door, so on, we can select and type in.
Daughters.
Helps if you select the right letter. If we hit F, it takes us to the F words, and if we hit the down arrow, we can cycle through until it says the word front.
First.
You'll notice there's a lot of F words, so I could continue to cycle through. A shortcut
Freeze.
is to hit the next letter in the word. So now we're jumping over, and we've jumped past all the FI words to the FR words.
Freezer. Front.
And a couple selections down, we have front, the word we want. So we do done, and now we have our serial number, loop number, zone descriptor, front, door. Both of these will be spoken. So the panel will speak the zone descriptor 1, it'll speak zone descriptor 2, which we're leaving blank. That would be in case you had two front doors. You could have it front west door or front left door, front right door, so you could give it a further clarifying word. It will also speak the word door. So we're good. Now we have alarm report. This option says, do you want this sensor activation to send through to a central station if you're monitored? So for our purposes, we are monitored and we do want this sensor to go to the central station, so we keep it yes. Chime is standard. That means that the panel will make an audible chime when the door is opened in the disarm state, which is a fault. And that's what we want. We want to know if our door is open. Even if it's off, it'll give us an indication in the house that the door was open. And finally, supervision should always be set to supervised for a wireless device. That means the system will check to make sure it sees that device. It does that every 12 hours, and if it didn't see the device, it would throw up a trouble on zone 6, and you would know you'd have an issue to address. So we want to save the selection to lock it in. If we hit the back arrow and we didn't save it, we would have lost all that work. And now that it's in there, we want to close the cover, and we're ready to test our sensor. So again, we have it closed up. We have our two hash marks indicating where the magnet goes, and we're going to put it together to simulate the door closed. We're going to exit programming to the home screen, and now we're going to test what happens when we fault or open the door. Before we test, I just want to make sure I have on this settings icon from the home screen, I have voice and I have chime enabled. Out of the box, only voice is enabled, so we already reset it so that chime is on. And therefore, when we open the door, you can hear the chime, the beep, 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 as well as this panel will speak the zone that's open. So here we go.
Front door.
And you can see we have our fault indication. You get a nice little visual indicator of a door open, and better than that, it tells you the specific door that is open, so you know, okay, before I arm it, close my door, ready to arm, and I can arm my system. So that's how you program the most popular 5816 wireless door and window sensor to a Lynx Touch L5200 system. We hope you've enjoyed the video, and we please invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you get updated on any new future videos that we have to offer.